The Formula One film hits the big screen and McLaren gives Brad Pitt a test drive in Austin. The 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧 circuit in South Africa has been given the green light to start works to achieve FIA Grade 1, ready to host Formula One. In the same week that the Thai government announces works for a circuit capable of hosting major competitions. Who could it be? Renault CEO Luca steps down and Alpine becomes an ever more indecipherable mess. Ferrari cancels production of its electric road car due to zero demand. Friday, the 20th of June, 2025. There's no Formula One, but there is news. So sit down and let's talk about everything. The day before yesterday, Wednesday, the 18th of June, we had the premiere of the Formula One film. I was there. I produced exclusive content for our subscribers. It's already online. And speaking of subscribers, I'll talk about the giveaways in a bit, and on Sunday there'll be a full review video with spoilers, but you can watch up to the point where I announce, from here on, there are spoilers. I'm sharing with you my impressions of the film, which will premiere for the general public in cinemas from midnight Wednesday to Thursday next week. So when we're here for our next Friday video, you'll possibly have already seen the film or will have your tickets in hand to watch it, and you'll be able to come back here in the comments section and say what you thought. I'll share my opinion with you on Sunday. Late in the afternoon, around 5 or 6 o'clock, I'll post the video. Alright? What I can tell you, and what I told Warner in an interview right there at the cinema, in the heat of the moment, is that it's a work that treats the source material with respect, aiming to deliver something that will satisfy the hardcore fans, which is most of us here, as well as those who are just now getting into it, like many of our viewers. But overall, and taking into account the blunders they've already made with films about motorsport, like that atrocity with Stallone, remember? The Formula One film is nothing like that embarrassment and actually delivers a very good final result. We'll talk more about it in detail on Sunday. In the same week as the film's release, and these things don't happen by chance, Brad Pitt had a test with the McLaren car in Austin. He had already driven Formula 2, Formula 3, and also GT cars to get used to it and understand how everything works. But today, Friday, we found out that he was on track in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas, driving the 2023 McLaren model. Lando Norris was there the day before, gave him some instructions, and then he was cleared to go out on track. According to reports, Brad Pitt was amazed by the real experience of driving a Formula One car after testing other cars for the film, as I mentioned. But the real one has over 1,000 horsepower, combining the combustion engine with the electric motor. It was a personal experience and, of course, an excellent opportunity for spontaneous marketing for the film, and also for McLaren to get a bit more exposure. After all, look, here we are talking about Brad Pitt's McLaren and the film, because, as I said, it creates a buzz. It's not the first time a Hollywood actor has sat in a Formula One car. Tom Cruise, a few years ago, also drove a Red Bull one, remember? Of course, it's merely a proportional activity, even though it attracts some attention, and there won't be any further developments unless, who knows, McLaren is thinking of creating a program for not-so-young drivers. The 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧 circuit in South Africa, on the outskirts of Johannesburg, has received the green light from the FIA to begin upgrading its infrastructure, aiming to bring the track up to Grade 1, the level required by the FIA to host Formula One races. The time frame for the works is 3 years, and currently the circuit already has the necessary grading to host other international categories, but not Formula One, and it also doesn't host MotoGP. The goal is, obviously after overcoming the commercial hurdles, to reach an agreement, secure funding for the whole venture and so on, and to host a Grand Prix there in 2027. But as we know, there are other contenders vying to host a Grand Prix in Africa, which hasn't seen the category there since 1993. That's because Rwanda is also preparing a circuit, and last week there were reports that Morocco might be getting ready as well. And within South Africa itself, there's yet another city wanting to be the host. Cape Town has put forward a proposal for a street circuit near the port, with Table Mountain as its backdrop, and the track running around the DHL-named stadium, which even hosted the 2010 World Cup. Formula One does not deny its interest in racing in Africa, but of course, everything will depend on business. After all, it will want to race where they pay the most and can offer stability and a long-term contract. And the problem for some countries that aren't swimming in oil money is that it's harder to afford the high fees that the promoters demand, which Formula One has been charging and manages to receive from places like Baku, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, and so on. In the same week as all this buzz surrounding 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧, news emerged that the Thai government cabinet had approved the release of a budget of $1.2 billion aimed at preparing a street circuit in Bangkok, the country's capital. The goal would be to have everything ready by 2028, with a 5-year contract extending until 2032. The Thai government says it will partner with private companies to share the organizational costs by private Thai company Red Bull, which is controlled by the Thais and has a local driver to call its own, Alexander Albon, who, despite being born in London, races under the Thai flag. And this, of course, helps make the event feasible, because demand for tickets will be high. The region already has a race in Singapore, which is probably the most at risk, as well as being densely populated. In other words, there are plenty of people who will want to buy these tickets. The government spokesperson, should I read it out? 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧𝙞𝙤𝙡. Is that how you say it?
𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙮𝙧𝙞𝙤.
The aim is not just to host major events, but obviously to boost local trade and tourism as well. The mess that Renault Alpine has become in recent years has apparently reached a whole new level of chaos. Because the CEO of the Renault Group, who is in charge of the team, has resigned, Luca de Meo is out. Luca de Meo, the man who brought in 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙾𝙥𝙗𝙗. His resignation was accepted by Renault's board, and the position is now vacant. De Meo had been there for 5 years and was responsible for improving some of Renault Group's figures. It's true, but the project to turn Alpine into a sort of French Ferrari, using a sporty brand to promote Renault as a whole, hasn't been delivering results so far. Part of the strategy involved fully electrifying Alpine's cars, something that several other manufacturers in Europe are already backtracking on, such as Volvo, Porsche, and Audi. We'll talk about Ferrari in a separate section. Moreover, one of the pillars of Alpine's growth was supposed to be selling cars in the United States, but with the recent American government tariff policies, that's been put on ice. No one talks about it anymore. Luca de Meo brought in 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙗𝙗 last year when, apparently, the ideas for improving the team's situation had run out. 𝘾𝙤𝙥𝙗 came in. No one knows exactly how much is being paid, but it's suspected there's a bonus for when he manages to sell the team, as well as a percentage of any sponsorship deals he manages to bring in. The departure comes at a terrible time for the team, which is last in the Constructors' Championship and has Franco Colapinto, a name brought in by 𝘾𝙤𝙥 under intense spotlight, facing another one of those 5 races that 𝘾𝙤𝙥 said he had, and then, after saying it, claimed he hadn't said it. After that, no one knows who will stay in the car, whether Colapinto will continue, whether Jack Doohan will return, or indeed if they'll bring someone else in. Ferrari has announced the postponement of sales of its second fully electric model until at least 2028. The reason, according to the Reuters news agency, is weak consumer interest. Ferrari doesn't launch cars and then start selling them. Usually, it starts taking orders before it even begins manufacturing the next cars. And a brand so strongly associated with beautifully loud combustion engines has been struggling to explain that the electric models will also have that same sporty, passionate feel and so on. This model that has been postponed isn't the first electric one. Ferrari already has one about to be released, but the first was seen more as a milestone, while the second is truly a turning point to understand. We continue down this path. Is there interest in selling it, or do we put this plan on hold and see which way the wind blows? Rivals, competitors, adversaries like Porsche, Lamborghini, and Maserati have also put their plans for fully electric cars on ice for now. Let me tell you something. Next week we'll have a prize draw here. You know how it is, right? The Lego Red Bull is already assembled, the Lego Williams, which I also built myself here to show you, as well as the other kits. There's a Sauber, a Williams, an Alpine, and 3 minifigures. These prizes are provided by our newest partner here, ReHappy, and are raffled off to the channel's subscribers. There's still time for you to become one of them. How do I do that, Rodrigo? Click the join button or become a member just below. There are 4 plans. Gene Haas, $7.99. Paddock Pass, $14.99, Stefano Domenicali, $34.99, and Lawrence Stroll, $99.99. Of course, the higher the plan, the better the gift, but all plans come with guaranteed gifts. Lego sets, Formula Collection miniatures, and books from Gulliver Publishing. And you can watch our exclusive content. Every week I post something new for our subscribers. Become another member of the best and biggest motorsport community in Brazil. We've already passed 800, on our way to 1,000. The link for you to become a member is down below, the join button as well, and the link to the ReHappy website is also in the video description. This week, on Tuesday, there's a video about the Formula 1 drivers who, Quote, didn't make it, those who arrived with a lot of hype but didn't live up to expectations. There are 2 Brazilians on that list, many very talented people who, when they got to Formula One, didn't achieve the same results they'd had elsewhere. On Wednesday, the short but remarkable story of when one of these hyped-up drivers in Formula One had an accident with some guest. He rolled the car badly because he braked at the same spot as he would in a Formula One car, but this time he was in a regular road car. And then, disaster. On Sunday, as I mentioned, we have our review of the Formula One film. You can watch all of that, as well as the shorts we're always posting here, as part of the more than 800 videos we make every year. Last year, there were 880. And I think we're going to beat that target this year. So, leave a like, it's free, costs you nothing, you know, and it really helps the channel. Do me this favor, do us this favor. Comment below if you're going to watch the Formula One film, and which of the Lego sets you're interested in winning. If you've already won one, tell us where you're watching from, or if you don't want to comment on any of that, just leave a little emoji. Anything at all is important for the algorithm to understand that you're interacting with the content, that our engagement is sky high, and so it keeps spreading our word across the internet. So you don't miss anything we do here. We have notification channels, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok, where you get an automatic push as soon as I publish any content, and we don't have to rely on YouTube to remember to remind you. This is especially important during this time of the FIFA Club World Cup, when they're leaving us a bit on the sidelines to prioritize those live broadcasts. But by mid-July it's over. They come and go, and we're always here. Lastly, but by no means least, we have our social media, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and TikTok. The handles are showing here, and the link is also down below in the description, alright? So, it's Friday, and you already know what that means. If you didn't, now you do. Cheers, big hugs, it's Friday. Take care.